We're back in Malvern, Pennsylvania. It's the 2023 U.S. Open here from USA Archery as the stage is set for the compound men gold medal match. And on the left part of your screen with the PSE shirt is Kris Schaff, and to the right is Jimmy Lutz, also known as James Lutz. I'm Greg White in the booth with Braden Gelantine, and here we go, gold medal match. Tell us all about the field of play, the size of the target, the distance they're going to be shooting, and what's at stake.
All right, so we're here at 50 meters. The target is 80 centimeters in size. The 10 ring is roughly the size of a baseball. And we're looking at these archers. The yellow is going to be the main scoring zone here. If to see any arrow outside that would be a major surprise. So yeah, they're going to be shooting 15 arrows, 5 ends of 3 arrows, and at the end we will have a high score winner, and that will be your champion.
Kris Schaff comes in here as the number 4 seed through elimination matches. Jimmy Lutz, the number 3 seed. And of course, these two archers represent the United States at the world level as well on the team. And Schaff starts us off with
X10 liner, yeah.
There you go. And this guy. Let's talk about Lutz. Watch that thumb. Ooh. A little bit of a flinch. And bam, off
Gosh,
it goes.
I wish I could do that. That's incredible. Man.
Tell us about that. Like, what are we witnessing?
Yeah, so Kris is shooting a back tension. This release is fired off of rotation. As you can see, he's moving his fingers until the release fires. It's basically rolling off a hinge. Jimmy, on the other hand, he puts the pin where it needs to be, and he sends it. He dumps the trigger, and down it goes.
And it's been working for him for a number of years, and woof.
Just, yeah, he must have pushed really hard into the front wall on it one.
A weak spot in the target, yeah, right in the middle there. Okay, Schaff answers with a 10.
10x line.
So for Jimmy, yeah, that was a quick one for him,
Yeah.
and it went right in the middle and settled there.
No reason to do anything else, right? He's just wasting time at full draw otherwise. Less time he has at full draw, less time he has to screw things up.
All right, cumulative scoring. So we have 3 ends, as Braden mentioned, 5 times, and it's cumulative. So it looks like Lutz is going to have a 1-point advantage.
Jimmy just said, "I missed." Down talking to Kris, I was lip reading. What he meant was he went to swing at the trigger and he missed the trigger with his thumb.
Oh.
So that was why we saw things get a little weird on the side there. He went to hit it and didn't quite connect. So
interesting. Different shooting styles, different ways to aim. I think you're familiar with like the sight picture that Jimmy has, like the power of his lens and all that.
Right. So Jimmy's running a 6 power this weekend. He'd been running an 8 all year, and I think for his style he needs to change his visual up every once in a while, because as soon as his brain starts connecting a reward for hitting a 10 ring and wants that dopamine release, things can get a little weird there with target apprehension and trying to rush shooting the shot. So he's making changes and is trying to stay ahead of it, and it looks like it's working really, really well this week.
All right, so down at the bottom of the target there are flip boards, and those are used in competition here in USA Archery to let people know what scores are downrange and your competitor.
Right.
When we get to elimination matches, we get kind of deep in there. We start using flip cards, and definitely in the matches I've been in, Braden, I have kept an eye on some of my competitors to see how they're shooting. Have you ever done that?
Oh, for sure. You're always trying to figure out where you are in the match. It determines a lot of things, whether you're going to aggressively go at a 10 ring or if you're just going to play it safe and kind of shoot on the safe side of the 9-10. Because a lot of times if you really bear down hard, that's when 8s happen, especially in the wind. So it's always good to keep an eye where you are in the match and act accordingly.
Each archer has 20 seconds to execute their shot. You can see 10, 9 on the clock.
Good shot from Kris.
Yep. Schaff sends it down with an X. Watch that thumb rotate towards that barrel. Pow, it's gone.
Yeah. I mean, archery's so simple when you break it down that way. You just put the pin in the middle and hit the thingy. Nice shot from Kris. Yeah, that was a really good shot.
I think that's a new bumper sticker.
Right?
Put it in the middle, hit the thingy.
Yeah.
I love that. That's funny. Oh yeah, and you hit the thingy.
A little too early there.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely a little early. All right, so we're all tied up. Kris has an opportunity here. Gotta put it in the 10 ring for sure.
Yep, there we go.
3 X's. Confidence.
That seemed more like his natural rhythm of the thumb never stopping.
So, Braden, we look at that 10 ring, and then we keep saying X. There's that
Right.
lighter ring in the middle. Is there any points difference?
No, so there's no point differential. In some tournaments like Lancaster, that X will be counted as 11, but for this scoring in this system here, it's just for keeping track of records and things like that.
Mm-hmm.
There's no difference, so if one archer shoots more X's, it doesn't really matter. It will come into play when we get to the closest to center portion if these two archers remain tied after 15 arrows. And again, we're not really scoring the X, it's just an extra ring to break ties.
All right, so as we look at Kris Schaff and his shot execution, I wanted to ask you about the arrows we use, because you can see in the impact of the target, those arrows are pretty skinny. If you're a hunter, you're going to shoot an arrow that's going to be larger in diameter, say. So why are we shooting outdoor with this kind of diameter arrow?
Right, so we're running a smaller diameter arrow that has some have aluminum cores, some have thicker wall carbons. And the idea is that you've got an arrow with more mass in a smaller bundle, so that it penetrates the wind a little bit better. Because if you were to shoot a 23 out here in 10-mile-an-hour wind, you're probably going to get a foot of drift, whereas these guys are seeing about an inch, inch and a half.
Yeah, because there is a little bit of wind. It's going right to left. They do have flags that are indicated on the bales, but as we know here in Malvern, PA, there are plenty of other flags along the right side to indicate, because you can see that those flags look pretty still.
Correct. Yesterday during our qualification, the wind was pegged on the targets the same way the whole day. I was watching the wind flags halfway down, and that gave me a better feel for what was going down between me and the target face. Nice 10 for Kris. Liner 10 from Jimmy. Counts the same.
Same.
Another good shot from Kris. When he gets on a roll like this, he is so difficult to beat.
10x line.
His timing, everything comes together, and I mean, he's your Vegas champion for a reason.
Yeah, good point.
That's a 10 for Jimmy as well.
9-10 line.
Unusual, a little bit of a spread. Of course, things have calmed down wind-wise, and we know that Lutz is unreal in the wind. Yeah, Kris didn't like that at all.
Right, a lot of time with the back tension shooter, with the time clock, if they lose their rotation, you'll see a high right shot as they use more hand than back to pull it off. And that looks like a dirty 30 for Jimmy.
10x line.
Dirty 30 for sure. As you're learning more archery terms than you ever hoped to learn right here on this 2023 U.S. Archery U.S. Open gold medal match for compound men. Two of these shooters, Kris Schaff, Jimmy Lutz, part of the U.S. national team that gets to travel around the world and competing, just like Braden Gelantine has done his entire career with 77 World Archery medals to your credit, most all time, right?
It's been a wild ride. When I was an 11-year-old at Cub Scout camp, I never would have imagined archery would take me as far as it has, but it's been an unreal journey. It's afforded me the opportunity to see the world. I met my wife through international competition, and yeah, it's just been one tournament after the next, and it's been a whirlwind of a ride, and I am so excited to get more into smoking meat at the house, hanging out with the dog. It's going to be amazing.
I mean, you're not going into retirement. You're still going to be?
Yeah, I'm still going to come and I'll shoot indoors. I'll be at the Kings of Archery tournament. I'll be in Vegas.
Oh, great.
I might hit Lancaster, depending on how things will work, but there's different priorities in life right now, and for me, staying at home and putting family first is what I want to be doing.
That's awesome. All right, so James Lutz, 89, 88 with 2 ends left. And 1 point is colossal here at this level of competition in compound men. It's the 2023 U.S. Open. We lead off with Kris Schaff.
It looks like the wind cut out completely. He may have some clicks in his sight.
Oh yeah, to compensate for that wind that's now stopped.
Jimmy just keeps hammering away.
10x line.
Kris is going to need this one and to clean out to have a run at this tournament.
No. So starting to come unraveled is Kris Schaff. Meanwhile, this guy doesn't care. Puts it in the middle, pulls the trigger. All right, he gives him a point
Yeah,
back.
he definitely left the door open there. Kris is going to need this one. There we go.
Got it.
10.
Him and that fat
A 9 here would certainly make things interesting.
Okay.
Didn't get it.
10x line.
Yeah. Jimmy's just, this is unreal to watch somebody who can, him and Kyle Douglas both, who can command shoot like this.
All right, let's talk about that. The command shooting. What do you mean by that?
Right, so command shooting is putting the pin where you need it and pulling the trigger. A lot of times with back tension, you're rotating. You don't know exactly when it's going to go off, but you set the timing of the release to go off when you're most likely going to be in the 10 ring or where you need it to fire to hit the middle. And with a thumb button like this, he's chosen his most accurate, most high-scoring method is to put the pin in the middle and send it while it's there. And mentally, I wish I could handle it, but I could do it for maybe 2 or 3 arrows, and then my brain's like, "Ooh, this is fun," and then it's not so much fun anymore.
Well, I mean, in archery, we often talk about TP, target panic, right?
Right. Yeah.
And without question, a lot of command shooters can get to the point where it creeps into their brain, and if you don't know how to help yourself with a back tension, you could be stuck in a world of hurt for a long time.
Right. I mean, they say in archery, you're either going to be really smart or really dumb. And I mean, hey, Jimmy's got it working. I don't know which camp to put him in.
Yeah. He definitely has it working for him. The other thing too, I think that's a key to Jimmy's success, is the fact that he really does keep a strong bow arm, and he likes to drive the bow towards the target.
He's really aggressive in his setup, for sure.
All right, so final end of competition. Kris Schaff is down by 2 points. He leads us off, and he's just got to go 10 all the way to even have a shot.
That looked a lot more like vintage Kris right there.
Who's the pressure on right now?
The pressure's on Jimmy. Kris has nothing to lose here. He's going to be gunning for the 10 with everything he's got, and it's going to come down to Jimmy faltering, potentially. Good shot from Kris.
Okay, 10 or nothing. So far, so good.
Realistically, we need a 9 here for Kris to have a shot. That looked like a very, very good shot from Jimmy. Like, there was no anticipation, anything. It just wham, middle, easy game.
Nothing Schaff can do at this point. Just put it in the 10 ring.
It'd be interesting if there was like a 14 ring out in the 6 right now for moments like that, but
It would be something, yeah.
Jimmy's shot incredible and has earned this. He deserves it.
Holding gold,
Boom.
gets the X.
Open to 3 X's, close with 3 X's. That's a statement.
Well, 148, and you talked about it, Braden Gelantine, before the start of this match. So 148 or 147 was going to win it. Danelle, his wife, in the box for him with a big hug and congratulations.
Jimmy maintained that level all day today. I'm pretty sure he never fluctuated from 148 through all of his matches. Incredible
shooting. For Kris Schaff, it's those 3 upper right that are going to haunt him for a while.
Yeah, it can happen. I mean, when you get a little bit of tension in there, things can hang up. Shots don't go as smoothly as they do, in practice. And it's the end of the season. It's been a long road. He's had an amazing season. He's an amazing shooter. I'm sure second place will get him through the fall just fine. But yeah, it's like you said, that one mistake. It was the same mistake over and over again that he's gonna have to go iron out in practice range.
148 to 146, and it's gonna be Jimmy Lutz who takes it again. And a big smile for Jimmy, and what a performance he's had today in the elimination matches, and he's going to march his way down to our competition archery media interview booth as he gets to finally walk almost the entire 50-meter field of play. And while he's walking, the representatives from USA Archery are going to reset those targets and move them back to 70 meters, because on deck is recurve men and women. The women will be first.